what's up you guys, welcome back to the channel. Now it's been quite a while since I last did a monthly favorites video, so I figured that I should just go ahead and take the bull by the horns and toss out a couple of my highlights from the entire spring and early summer of this year. Now it has been a while, so I figured that you need a refresher just as much as I need a refresher as to how I do these videos. So I actually like to break them up into 3 different sections, starting from the inside and out. So we will be covering some of my diet, so any of my keto people out there, I got you covered. Then we're gonna go ahead and move into a little bit of skincare because I have been on a very intense retinol journey and it's just starting to get good. And finally, we're gonna go ahead and cover aesthetics, from contact lenses to cosmetics, anything that makes us feel pretty. And trust me, I've been prettying it up lately. So without ado, let's go ahead and jump on in. So kicking things off with a bit of keto, strangely enough, all of my favorites this time around are very seasonally appropriate. First up, we have these sugar-free sauces by Hughes? I don't know how to pronounce words, but I do know that they taste good in my mouth. This one right here is the Carolina Star barbecue sauce in sweet heat, and I actually use these for my keto sloppy joes, and let me tell you, they are absolutely delicious. I have the recipe up on my Instagram, and it's super duper easy to make. Now, speaking of super duper easy to make, we also have the orange ginger marinade. You just get some chicken thighs, open up the package, salt, pepper, drizzle this on, just smudge it in, let it sit for like 5-10 minutes, then go ahead and toss them on a roasting pan in your oven, and oh my god, it's easy and delicious. And I think that when it comes to keto and staying on any diet, because I've been on this for like over a year now, it's all about accessibility of good food, and this just makes it super easy. All you gotta do is take a sauce in and spice up your meats. Now, before we move on, I did want to give you guys a little bit of a heads up. While I did like the Carolina style sweet heat as well as the orange ginger flavors, I would kind of say steer away from the teriyaki version. I tried that one and it just wasn't very flavorful at all. In addition to that, there's like a mapley brown sugar barbecue sauce, and listen, for a sugar-free sauce, that thing is extremely sweet. Now, I have a sweet tooth and I love sweet things, but that was just a little overboard for me. Like, I like my barbecue sauces like rich and tangy, and to have a little bit of a kick to them, but that one just felt like way too much sugar. Okay, so this next one I don't really have like the packages of anymore, and that's mainly because I completely ate the entire box. Yes, we have Quest protein chips in the chili lime flavor. Oh my god, this is like my favorite of favorites. You guys know that I've mentioned these chips before. Like, barbecue flavor is very good. The nacho cheese flavor is also amazing, but this, hands down, is my absolute favorite. As you can see right here, I've actually got two boxes done because they're so delicious. They're just spicy and tangy and limey. They are oh so good. Do be aware that they are bringing a little bit of that heat, so if you don't like spicy things, you do want to stay away from this flavor. However, it packs a nice punch and it's just so good to munch on. One of the things that I will say, I do like the tortilla style, but do not get the ranch version because, much like the teriyaki flavor in the Hughes sauces, not very much flavor at all. Kind of sad. But hopefully they'll work on that and we'll get something a little bit more tasty in the future. And last but not least, I have the perfect way to finish off my keto favorites, which of course is the Enlightened ice cream bars. This one is in the flavor salted caramel and it's absolutely delicious for only 6 grams of carbs. Now, here's the thing. I've tried a lot of other low-carb ice creams before, and they're all really good. I, in fact, feel like there are better low-carb ice creams out there. However, the portion size of this is just perfect. A lot of the times whenever you would get like a pint of the, you know, low-carb ice creams, you just kind of like have to like dole out little measures for yourself, and you'd be like, is this the appropriate amount? Like, especially for those of you guys who are really strictly watching your macros, like you'd have to like take a measuring cup out and kind of like scoop it out for yourself, which tended to be a little bit of a hassle. Like I was saying earlier, I like really accessible foods, things that you can just grab and go or toss together very quickly. All you gotta do with this one is pull out an ice cream bar. And a little tip for you guys, I would actually leave it out on the counter for like maybe 3 or 4 minutes, let it soften up a little bit, then oh my god, it's absolutely delicious. I like this flavor as well as the mint chip flavor. I would just say keep a very close look on the nutritional info because of the fact that some of the flavors are up to 9 grams of carbs per bar, which I mean isn't necessarily the worst in the world, but if you're trying to like really, you know, rein in your carb intake, 9 grams of carbs might be a little too much in a single treat. However, listen, however you decide to spend your carbs is absolutely up to you. And I choose to spend them on ice cream bars. So moving along, we have my skincare favorites, and if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, it has been a rough couple of months. I've started out on a new retinol and it absolutely switched my skin up. My skin became even drier, flakier, the texture became super duper rough, and it was a bit of a shitty time for a while, so I definitely kind of had to rely on other skincare items to kind of ease the pain of the retinol uglies. Alrighty, first up we have a product that literally burned my skin the first time that I put it on. However, I'm a stubborn ass Leo and I decided to just leave it on. And lo and behold, about 5 minutes later as I walked past the mirror expecting for my face to be like bloodshot red, I was actually looking very, very brightened and polished with the Rose Soothing Milk from 4th Ray Beauty. This is, I believe, my 3rd or 4th bottle now. Now this only comes in like half an ounce, which absolutely breaks my heart because I hate having to repurchase so often, but legitimately this is one of those things that have now become a holy grail product. I didn't really ever look for like skin soothing, I guess you would say, items. Like, it was always kind of like age-defying, moisturizing, hydrating, so I'd never tried anything that was smoothing before, and I'm a little bit of a ColourPop addict, so I decided that since I was on the ColourPop site, I might as well go ahead and try out some of their skincare, and one of those items was the Rose Face Milk, and wow, I was absolutely astonished. Like, let's be real here. I was thinking in my head, ColourPop, fine for makeup, you know? It's, you just put it on your face, then you wash it off. I'm not really gonna trust their like sister brand with skincare, but holy shit, like legitimately, this thing had immediate effects, which is not something that I'm necessarily always looking for in skincare. I'd rather have like slow effects over time that improve your skin, but listen, if this can change my skin in like 5 minutes, I'm gonna go do it. And as you guys know, one of my big issues is I tend to have these like red patches on my cheeks, which are very rosacea-like. I'm not sure if they are rosacea, but they are patches of irritation. And for this to knock down that irritation a lot in its first shot, I was very, very impressed. So continuing on the 4th Ray Beauty train, we have Remedy, which is their 10% niacinamide serum. Now, niacinamide is one of those ingredients that I absolutely love. It's great for tightening pores, really great at reducing redness, and helps combat fine lines and wrinkles, so it's a great ingredient. However, I wasn't really checking for 4th Ray Beauty when it comes to these kind of very focused ingredient-based serums. I usually go for the Ordinary or the Inky List. In fact, the Inky List is where I got my retinol from, which I'm enjoying, I guess you could say. So I wasn't really thinking about 4th Ray Beauty when it came to these types of products. However, one of the things that I did note is that when I was using the Ordinary's niacinamide, it tended to cause things to pill up on it. So I was like, well, I'm putting in a ColourPop order, which you're gonna notice is a consistent theme throughout this video. But legitimately, I was like, well, let's just go ahead and pick it up and see how it performs. I mean, listen, as long as it doesn't cause any of the other products that I put on top of it to pill, it's gonna be better than the Ordinary one. So I figured I would go ahead and give it a shot, and when I took a look at the ingredients list, I was kind of impressed. The first ingredient is water, because we have to keep in mind this is a 10% niacinamide serum, right? So niacinamide is not gonna be the entire thing, but it was water, then it was niacinamide, and I was like, oh, 4th Ray Beauty just coming in with the concentration, okay? So I definitely wanted to go ahead and give it a shot, and so far, no pilling, no nothing. It is a little bit tacky on the skin, which is completely fine because I usually put the serum on, then I put a hydrating toner on top of it, so it almost causes that hydrating toner to stick to it just a little bit more, which I really, really like. I do believe there's a little bit of hyaluronic acid in this as well, so that's a great pairing for those two, especially in the way that I use it in my current skincare routine. So far, quite impressed with 4th Ray Beauty. And last but definitely not least when it comes to my skincare favorites is the I'm From Rice Toner. Oh my god, this thing is so good! I don't know if you guys can see. That's how far down I am on this bottle. and it's my second one. Yes, it is that good. Now, I do want to point this out real quick. If you are anything but dry, don't use this. I mean, maybe if you're normal and you tend to lean a bit dry every now and then, this might work out for you if you use it just a little bit. But this is a brightening toner and it's very, very hydrating. So it's actually a biphase. So you'll want to shake it up just a little bit. It's got a layer of rice water. In fact, I believe it's like 77.8 of the rice water ferment filtrate. I don't know, all that bullshit. Whatever it is, it's freaking glorious. And then it's got like a thin layer of very fine oil on top, so you mix it all in and you pat it into your skin just like any of the hydrating toners, and the kind of like watery part just soaks into your skin and makes your skin super duper plump, and then the oil just kind of like smooths everything and kind of creates this beautiful silky barrier on your skin. It's absolutely freaking luxurious. If you've ever tried the I'm From Honey mask, and like I was saying before, it kind of like leaves this like film on your skin that's just like this luxurious cushion of moisture, that's exactly what it feels like, but you're not putting on a mask for like 20 minutes to do it. So it's absolutely fantastic if you are dry and flaky like I am from that evil retinol that promised to make me a beautiful young princess. Listen, I'm trying to get Benjamin buttoned, okay? But I guess the process for retinol is quite long, slow, and painful, like several of my previous relationships, but this toner helps ease the pain. Wait, I lied, I'm not done with skincare stuff yet. I also have this, which I've not cleaned out, so I don't want to zoom in too close to it, but this is a dermal suction thing. Really odd, but you use this to kind of like suck out the like whiteheads and blackheads from your pores. I really only use it in my nose area, and I do want to say be careful, because if you turn it up too strong, you can kind of bruise yourself a little bit. Remember like all of those stories about people using the vacuum to like give themselves hickeys? Yeah, you can give yourself a nose hickey. I've done it because I've been a little too aggressive. Listen, I'm a Leo. That's what happens sometimes. We get a bit aggressive when we get really excited about things. And the key thing about this is it gets out a lot. It might not get out everything, but don't try to get out everything. Just go back next week to see if it's loosened up on its own instead of doing like more damage to your skin than you want. Well, really, like the bruising goes away in like a day, as long as you haven't gone crazy with it. But this is definitely one of my favorites. I'll leave a link down below because I picked this up off of Amazon. There's like no brand name to this thing, but it was affordable and it works really well. So when it comes to my spring and early summer aesthetics, I think I might have gone just a little bit crazy. I've pared it down to my 3 favorites. However, I'm going to be mentioning other things alongside them. So it's like 3 favorites plus. It's not cheating, it's just a bonus. Starting things off, we have the NYX Ultimate Shadow Palette in Phoenix, and let me tell you, this is absolutely freaking gorgeous. It just fulfilled all of my color story fantasies for the spring and summer. It's got like these beautiful corals which just kind of like liven everything up. It's got reds, and you guys know that I fell in love with kind of like doing a little red on the lash line and kind of blending it upwards softly, so it kind of created this like bloodshot halo around my eyes, which I absolutely loved. And of course, we've got these yellows and golds that are super duper on trend right now. It's even got this kind of like muted purple, which I like to combine with the corals and the golds as kind of like a little bit of a liner. Oh my god, it's absolutely freaking fantastic. And it was super duper cheap. We had like the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette and the Viseart, I forgot what it was, but it was like the warms. Those were absolutely gorgeous, and this was like 18 bucks, and it kind of filled all of those spots. Now, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, the shadows in this remind me very much of like K-beauty shadows, where they're not super duper pigmented straight out of the gate, but you can build them up to have a pretty good intensity. Now, not shockingly crazy intensity, but a nice pop of color that is also wearable, because sometimes when you get those really strong pops of color, it can be a little bit too intense, and sometimes they don't blend out as well, or sometimes they're just a little bit garish. So you know, really what I do is I go to the grocery and I go to the gym and I run some errands around town. Rob ain't clubbing, so he doesn't really have a use to be all done up. But a little bit of heat, a little bit of warmth, a little bit of glow is always appreciated, right? Now, kind of keeping in tune with that too, because I do like this, and this is something that I've been enjoying for a while. This is the bonus item that I wanted to go ahead and talk about. I've been playing with ColourPop shadows. Now this is just the start of a collection. I do have some more that are on their way right now. Oh my god. I really like them, but I haven't had them long enough for me to be able to say that they are like the true loves of my life yet. So stay tuned, because we will be covering them in a future video, maybe, if I actually do it. Now, after a lot of experimentation with a bunch of products in this category, I have to say that the 3CE multi-pots have become one of my holy grail products. And this is actually in hashtag Diotoma. As you can see right here, the tone is kind of like this peachy, browny, corally kind of color. It's absolutely fantastic. And for those of you guys who are unfamiliar with the 3CE multi-pots, you can use them as blush, you can use them as cream shadow, or you can use them on your lips as well. Me personally, I don't like them on the lips as much as I like them on the lids and the cheeks. Mainly, I use them as a blusher, but if you don't have oily lids, you can put them on there for like a little touch. I've actually been using a couple of the other multi-pots kind of like in the crease, and then you can go ahead and layer shadows around it, and it's absolutely fine. Freaking love them. They smell really good. They have this unique, I guess I'm just gonna call it the 3CE scent, because it's kind of like coconutty, but it's also like fragrant and sweet. I don't know how to describe it, but it smells really good. I actually went ahead and picked them up in 2 other shades from their Stranger Lights collection. As you can see, they're neon. This one is in hashtag Cooltan, and this one is in hashtag Stephonik. I really like both of these shades, but this one is kind of like my go-to true favorites. The interesting thing that I like about this too, because you don't see this much in kind of like the US territories as much as you do in the Korean ones, is like they're using a lot of these tones that would be considered almost like bronzers, but instead they have a little bit of pinkness to them, so it kind of looks like a healthy flush across the cheeks. And it's funny, because I was just talking about not having a warming blusher in the US, but as you can see in this palette that I picked up from ColourPop, I actually did find a blush that has that really nice kind of like tanny color, and it's just nice because it has this like healthy finish to your cheeks that I really love. I do have to also mention, since we're talking about ColourPop, I did try out their blush sticks, and I do like these ones quite a lot as well. However, I will say that the finish on these ones are a little bit dewier than the 3CE multi-pots. Not that there's anything wrong with dewy, because you guys know I like a little bit of a natural shine, but I do like the finish of these ones just a little bit better. So for me, even though they are a bit more expensive, they are something that I do want to go ahead and invest in. Plus, these things will last you forever. All of these things I can't really see using up too quickly. Regardless, if you do get the chance, check them out on YesStyle or purchase them directly from Style Nanda. These are absolutely fantastic. Now, speaking of 3CE and Style Nanda, my last favorite is something that I actually recently rediscovered. I picked this up in a haul a little bit ago, and these are actually the Plumping Lips. And they're basically, I guess I would say, like a cream gloss. I've been trying out a lot of lip products lately, and to be honest with you, I've been disappointed by a bunch of them, and I've kind of found that I don't really like any lip products that are matte or too drying on the lips. But I decided to go ahead and just like pick these up and play around with these again, because of course they're the opposite of the drying things that I don't like. And let me tell you, I absolutely freaking love them. They do have that same kind of like minty coconut smell that the 3CE multi-pots have, but they produce a nice gloss on the lips that you can actually build up. This one is in the color Rosy. I also have the other one in Coral, and both of them look absolutely fantastic. It's a really nice natural flush on the lips, so it gives just a little hint of tone that you can build up. So as you build it up, the color is going to become more opaque, and you're going to get an even higher intensity of shine. Me, of course, I like a little bit of a natural boy beat, so maybe like 1 or 2 layers, and this thing is just absolutely gorgeous on your lips. Just gives you a natural glow if you want, or if you want to build it up, you can have a little bit more of a pop. Big fan, and a part of me wants to pick up more colors, but all of the other colors are really intense, so I'm just gonna stick to this and Coral. They do have a little bit of like a minty feel to your lips. Actually, I was mentioning this in a previous video, where it's not a very strong, like tingly sensation on the lips, but for some reason my lips did get very red, like they were very active activated. I don't know how else to say it, but they were definitely very stimulated is the word that I wanted to use, without necessarily feeling too stimulated. So I don't know what all that is about, but I think that is an absolutely great product. Now, technically those are my 3 for aesthetic, but I'm gonna go ahead and toss in a bonus one here. Of course, I am wearing these. These are the Halo Khakis. And if you guys haven't checked out my previous video, these are super duper natural. They are just this kind of like greeny brownie tone, and they blend in with the eyes just so well. I'm gonna go ahead and leave a link up in the corner towards my review on these ones. Fantastic. I really have nothing more to say except for the fact that they're great, and they make my life a little bit better. And they did fix my credit score. I'm kidding, they didn't. But if they could, they would. I know that they would. They told me. They swore. I love them. And that about does it for my spring and early summer favorites. I am so sorry that it took so long for me to get this video out to you guys, but hopefully it inspired you to try out a couple new things. Now, I do have a quick question for you guys. I just want to see, is there any particular subject that you guys wanted me to do a little bit more of an in-depth dive into? Because like I said, I haven't done one of these videos in quite some time, and I have been accumulating more favorites than what you've seen here. However, I did want to keep this a bit short and sweet for you. So let me know. Maybe you guys want me to do a little bit of a jump into 4th Ray Beauty, or maybe some of the ColourPop stuff that I have coming in. Let me know down in the comments below if you are curious about any of that. But that about does it for me for now. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.